back on NFL Fantasy Live. Looking forward to Monday Night Football. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills taking on Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Todd Downing calling the plays. No more than Nathaniel Hackett, leading us to ask a question collectively. Do we believe? It's Believe It or Not. We want to know what you need, and we'll tell you what we believe you will get on Monday Night Football.
You know what I can't believe?
What's that?
That you two didn't realize that Vidal Sassoon was an actual person.
I had no idea.
I thought it was.
Found out.
I thought it was like that guy Mercury Insurance.
One of my favorite people named Insurance.
This guy named Mercury.
Mercury Insurance.
He was kind of forced into the business because his last name was Insurance.
First up, Raider would like to know, Cynthia, needs 7 points from Alan Lazard. Do you think it's possible?
I believe it. You know who likes Alan Lazard?
Who's that?
Aaron Rodgers.
Ah, that's true.
And I understand that this could be an interesting game where a lot of chess pieces on both offenses will be necessary. So I think we have a Alan Lazard at least 7-point game. I believe it.
I believe
because in Vidal Sassoon London, you see a lot of dry hair.
So many favorite moments in the entire Vidal Sassoon category and catalog as we get to Adam Frank's Believe It or Not.
He sued Procter & Gamble.
Oh, my God.
Shout out
The
to
company that
Patrick out
bought
there.
Vidal Sassoon because they were promoting Procter & Gamble stuff over his own. Oh,
Anyway,
no, it's
this
Pantene.
person needs Keon Coleman to
Pantene.
score less than 10. Do you believe it, right?
You know what? Patrick actually found the thing that I love. Having situations where you score more than a certain number of points, but I also want to believe. So I'm going to believe that the Jets will hold down Keenan Coleman because other players for the Bills will do very well. This is no disrespect to Keenan Coleman, who I'm a huge fan of, and I wish him well in this contest. But for tonight, for our friend Patrick, I need him to score less than 10 fantasy points.
Frank, why do you know so much about hair products?
Because this is what I spend my time researching. Could I be looking up Braylon Allen's projections? I could, but I could find a way to make a haphazard connection to one of the That Helps No One guys to a reference of Friends. Because that's what.
But also, you don't have any hair.
I mean, people
There we
who
go.
see the bottom half here would be like that.
Do you wash that?
Yes,
with Vidal
You not?
Sassoon?
That's
You
important. Well,
I don't
Cynthia
have a
doesn't
beard.
have
How
a
am I
beard.
supposed to know?
You have to.
But with shampoo?
Well, I mean,
somebody-
Vidal Sassoon does not have a hair care product for beards.
If you're at
Yeah.
Vidal Sassoon, let us know. Of course, if you're Vidal Sassoon, you can't. Due to
Not
unfortunate
Pantene,
circumstances.
though. I'm against them.
Our guy Kendall needs to beat Kareem. Needs both Tyler Conklin to score fewer than 12 points tonight. Oh no, they both need Tyler Conklin to score fewer than 12. Thoughts or prayers? You don't need
combined
either
on
of
a
them,
team?
guys. They don't need either of them because I think the Bills' defense, which right now averages giving up 10 points to tight ends,
Yeah.
will hold Tyler Conklin to fewer than 12 fantasy points. So I believe it.
He believes.
I believe.
Woo!
I
Despite
can't
the
believe
fact
that he
Finally.
believes.
that my belief has been besmirched upon by Adam
Plenty
Rank.
of times.
I believe in this one.
You know what I don't believe in?
What?
Pantene.
Yeah, me neither. Well, they like that. Why would you buy the Vidal
Either
Sassoon
way.
line just to not promote it and instead
We will be
promote
back
Pantene?
on tomorrow's edition of
Vidal
NFL Fantasy
Sassoon.
Live.
I will be back.
If you don't look good, I don't
Monday
look
Night
good.
Football
If you
tonight.
don't
you
For
kick
Adam
me
Rank
off
and
the
Cynthia
show.
Field, I'm Patrick Claybon.
It's not my call.
Keep track of these two.
MetLife Stadium is where we close out Week 6 of the NFL season. The Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets both hoping to snap 2-game losing streaks. Bills quarterback Josh Allen, he's 2-0 against interim head coaches. He'll take his third shot tonight against Jeff Ulbrich running the show for New York. And Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback position beginning a new chapter with Todd Downing calling plays. It's Bills and Jets on Monday night.
From the first play to the last, dominate. Win on me, win on three, 1, 2, 3, win. Loud one down the right side, a leaping attempt, caught, Brees Hall.
Allen throws for a touchdown, and the beast has been released.
Garrett Wilson makes the catch.
Coleman, he's got it, and he somersaults into the end zone.
That's a Jet touchdown. And Aaron Rodgers puts it right in his hands.
Jets quarterback Sauce Gardner said this week that Robert Saleh changed his life and that they're still playing for him as they have their first shot tonight with Jeff Ulbrich running the show for the New York Jets. Welcome in, everybody. NFL Game Day kickoff presented by Caesars Sportsbook. He's Steve Mariucci. I'm Colleen Wolfe. We have a sponsor, Mooch.
Sponsor?
And how about Aaron Rodgers all dressed up?
Oh, he was dressed for success. Huh?
We'll get into it all because this is a massive night with the spotlight on New York. It's a division game. The Jets are at home. Let's get out to East Rutherford right now and say hello to Mike Garafolo, who will be there tonight for the game. And there was a surprise inactive ahead of this one, considering both of these offenses are trying to break out of slumps. This is huge.
Excuse me, I almost said Ray Davis. Ray Davis is going to wind up being the starting running back for the Buffalo Bills because James Cook is inactive. Colleen and Mooch. Now, there was optimism after he practiced on Saturday. It wasn't a limited capacity, but there was optimism that he was going to be able to go after suffering that toe injury last week. But he's just in a lot of pain, it sounds like, and the decision was made that he couldn't go. Now, they promoted, the Bills did, Frank Gore Jr. from the practice squad up to the active roster, so that was an indication at that point that they did not think that Cook was going to be able to go. I would expect that Davis would be the one to lead the way in the traditional sense, more so on first and second down with Ty Johnson, who has been primarily sort of a third down back for them, working in as well. But I think it's going to be Ray Davis if you had him as the 1 and Ty Johnson as the 1A. I know that offensive coordinator Joe Brady likes Davis a lot. Now we'll see about Gore. Josh Allen, Colleen, get this. Josh Allen has handed off to Frank Gore. Now could potentially hand off to Frank Gore Jr. as well. That's like you one day working with Carmen, my daughter, and being like, I work with both of them.
You know what? I would love to one day work with Carmen Garafolo. Just as reliable as James Cook, considering he hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons. But Garafolo, there is a ton going on where you are. I mean, to say it was a quiet week in New York would be such a bold lie. So Jeff Ulbrich, now the interim head coach, and Robert Saleh out. Tell me everything that's going on. What's the feel there? What's the vibe?
Well, Colleen, you know that the defense, they know Jeff Ulbrich well. They play hard for Jeff Ulbrich. So you know that they're going to show out. The question is, can he lead the entire team? Now, this is a guy who got a taste of being a head coach at the Senior Bowl this offseason, got to be a head coach for a week there. And I remember him at the time saying that it forced him to look at the bigger picture, things that you don't think about when you're an assistant coach. So at least he got a little bit of preparation. Now, it's a little different when you go from being the head coach at the Senior Bowl to being the head coach of the New York Jets, replacing Robert Saleh in season. And I talked about how the defense plays hard, so my question about the entire team, I spoke to Morgan Moses, the offensive tackle, who Ulbrich gave a great shout out about during his first press conference, talked about Moses and what a great guy he is. And Moses said, every time he's coaching up the defense, I'm always listening in. I'm listening to the keys that he's giving them and the way he gets them to buy in, the way he gets them to run to the ball. He says, I have no doubt from what I had seen from him working with those defensive players that he's going to be able to get the offensive guys, the entire roster, to be able to play passionately for him.
And what a huge spot that they're in, just 1 game under 500. This is so rare to see a head coach fired this early in the season when a team is only 1 game under 500. The first time it's happened in Woody Johnson's 25 years with the team that he fired a coach in season. But this moment in Mooch history, it's very organic, very relevant to tonight, Mooch. Mooch drafted Jeff Ulbrich to the Niners in 2000. He played inside linebacker. So give us a little background on his personality and then all of the added responsibilities he has to deal with.
Yeah, so he was a local kid in the Bay Area from Live Oak High School up there, and then went to Gavilan Junior College and then Hawaii. So we drafted him in the 3rd round, good inside linebacker. And he actually got drafted before Tom Brady. And so you know he must be good. And he played 10 years over there for the Niners. He was actually replaced by a guy named Patrick Willis, okay? He's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, so this guy, so he's a student of the game. He's a smart guy. He's a tough guy, and he's done a good job as their defensive coordinator. Here's the thing. When you get this I don't care what he did at the Senior Bowl. When you get this responsibility mid-season, all right, you go from being the defensive coordinator in charge of half the football team, and then when the defense is not on the field, you're over here talking to the linebackers, you're making adjustments with your defense, and you're talking to this guy. You're not paying attention to the rest of the game. But now he can't be doing that so much. He's got to stay here, and he's got to stay in, because one guy, this is not a committee, all right? He's got to be responsible for challenges.
Okay.
He's got to talk to somebody that he's not been talking to. He's timeouts, all right? He's got to handle all of that. How about 4th down decisions? Do I punt it? Do I fake it? Do I go for it? Do I kick a field? All that kind of thing. How about a reverse or a fake punt. All those decisions that have to come from one guy.
Does he have a get-back guy, too? I mean,
he's got a get-back coach. He might have to do that, too. Everybody's get back, all right? Let me do this. I got a lot on my plate tonight. And so, but anyway, I'm rooting for him. I love the guy and all that. I'm still a little miffed about Robert Saleh not having that job, okay? What the defense thinks about Robert Saleh and the whole team, they say, hey, that guy was legit and he was real. Anyway, they have to get over it. It happens, right? So we'll see what happens with Jeff. He's a good man. And then let's just see what happens.
Let's just see what happens. Jeff Ulbrich, one of the first orders of business that he did, he's sending Nathaniel Hackett back to the booth. And Todd Downing will be calling plays, Garofolo. So tell us about what you're hearing now with the switch.
Well, Todd Downing is going to have to run the football because of the conditions. Now, this is usually where, you'd see the hair. I can't provide that for
Where's
you.
Your hat?
So there is some trash. I put it down. I wanted to give you the full look at the cranium. But there is some trash kind of floating around here, so maybe that'll float by here. So that's one thing. But number two, even if the conditions were great, Todd Downing, who was formerly the offensive coordinator of the Titans with Derrick Henry, we know how much they ran the football back then. We know how much he believes in the philosophy of running the football. There is Downing pregame talking to Big Daddy Salgado right there, saying hello to him. I got the chance to briefly talk to Downing, and what he said to me was, I want people to know how well Nathaniel Hackett has handled the last week, how much he has still bought in because he wants this offense to succeed. He wants Aaron Rodgers to succeed. He said, quote, that's how a man handles the situation. So Hackett's still going to be a big part of this, even though he's not calling the plays. And certainly he and Rodgers have a good understanding. Hackett's been an offensive coordinator before who didn't call plays. So the hope is that he'll find some of that success he had in Green Bay, contribute to Downing. Again, I expect a lot of Breece Hall tonight, Braylon Allen as well. And I know this. They want to get off to a fast start. That's been a problem. So let's see if Todd Downing calling the plays. He'll do it from down here. Hackett's going to be upstairs. Let's see if that can lead to a fast start finally.
Yeah, not throwing the ball 54 times definitely would help, having some balance. But what do you expect the impact to be from Todd Downing on the offense?
Start fast, because if they got down 17-0, so they're slinging it. Here's what's going to be interesting, watching Aaron Rodgers, because think about it. He's been around a long time, like 20 years, okay? And he had somebody in his ear. One guy was Mike McCarthy, all right? Yeah, they won a Super Bowl and some MVPs together, all right? They had a long history. And then it was Matt LaFleur over there in Green Bay. And, yeah, they won a couple of MVPs doing it that way. And then he switched to Nathaniel Hackett, who was at Green Bay, but not calling the plays. He was quarterback coach. So now that switch. Now here comes Todd Downing, who is going to be brand new. And the chemistry has to be right. The timing has to be right. The plays have to get in. Aaron Rodgers has to feel a rhythm with his play calling, and whether it's RPOs or chances to audibilize or, those kinds of things, or shake it off. I don't like that play. I'm calling something else. It's going to be fun to watch this chemistry between Todd Downing and Aaron Rodgers tonight and see what kind of chemistry they have together, or what adjustments they can make, or how they set up some plays for the next series. That's what I'm going to be watching tonight.
So you're telling me that all eyes will be on Aaron Rodgers tonight?
I'll guarantee you the camera's going to be on his face, and he's going to be like, give me the play.
Never happened. Come on, let's go. Let's get these plays in.
All night. You watch.
Garofolo, we're coming back to you, so don't go too far. Do whatever you need to do. I know. Oh, there it is. It looks great. We love your hat. Mooch actually really loves your hat. He said that the temperature fell off a cliff. It's freezing.
Run the ball, weather.
Run the ball. Thank you, Jeezy. Yes, they have that talent on the offense there in New York, but also Buffalo. Let's take a look at their offense, because they've hit a wall over the past 2 weeks. Lost to the Ravens and Texans, beat the Cardinals, Dolphins, and Jags. The splits are significantly different. You can see on your screen. Josh Allen led the NFL with 9 total touchdowns weeks 1 through 3, had just 1 total over these last 2 weeks. So how do the Bills and Josh Allen get this thing back on track?
This is a good football team, both sides of the ball, but there's some new parts to it, right? And then, of course, we hear the news right off the bat, no James Cook.
Oh, that's
so it's not
massive.
like Ray Davis, the rookie running back, is going to save the day, all right? He's going to get some carries. But this guy right here, when he goes into the locker room, Colleen, he's got to put on that Superman cape. And that's what he can wear, man. We've seen him do this before. He's having a heck of a year in terms of 8 touchdowns and no interceptions. In the past, we talked about how many times he turns the ball over. he hasn't thrown an interception yet. And so it's not just that. It's his running ability that the defenses are always worried about. Yeah, he's playing against a good defense with the Jets right now. But this guy, when he takes off, some are quarterback design runs, some are zone reads, some are scrambles because he doesn't like it because he's got a receiving core that's just still trying to figure it out.
Sure.
Right? But if Josh Allen has the eye of the tiger tonight and puts on that Superman cape, that's the challenge right there. That man is as big as Derrick Henry, and he can do it.
And get Dalton Kincaid involved. He averaged 5 catches a game his rookie season last year. He's down to 3 this season. They drafted him in the first round for a reason. Use him.
Use him.
We'll talk more about the X factors in this game coming up, Mooch, but we actually call it the Mooch factor. So that's a very special thing. Maybe it's Keon Coleman, his second Monday Night Football start of the season for the rookie wide receiver. And we're going to talk about Caleb Williams, his breakout game in London, what it means for the Bears in the grand scheme of the NFC.